All right, welcome everyone. This is the sneak peek of one of the first webinars of a series that I'm going to be doing. This one is going to be focused on how to research and price your eBay listings. This is a really big topic for many sellers because sometimes it's just seems so overwhelming, all the information that's out there, and what do you call something, and how do you know what to price it at, and I find a lot of sellers are actually delaying getting some really good stuff listed just for not being real sure of how they're putting it up there, and want to make sure they're getting the most money for something, which is understandable. So we're going to try to help you get over that kind of analysis paralysis and get that good stuff listed with very little time and expense. Originally, this was going to be a free webinar that was going to be hosted by Worthpoint. But I declined to do that with them because it was going to be about promoting Worthpoint specifically. Now, I do have some discount things I can offer you with some of the search tools, but what I'm going to show you is how you can do your researching for free. Uh, I do have the services, but I really don't use them but once in a blue moon. And I love the people at Terapeak, and I love all the stuff that's out there, but I'm also all about keeping the costs down of running our businesses and putting as much money in your pockets as possible. And so most of your research can be done absolutely free. Okay. So So these are all the topics that I'll be covering in much bigger depth than today. But I just wanted you to be aware. We're going to talk about, why to research. Why do you even need to look at this stuff? The types of research to do, the venues that I will be showing in depth, and you'll be seeing me go and search specific things, and you can actually if you're going to be part of that webinar tomorrow, you can submit items that you want me to look up and show the information that's available out there, and what I would find, how to make pricing decisions, and things to consider, which again has to do with your pricing decisions. And then of course live demoing of how I go through the process of researching and pricing different items. So why research? You may have heard me tell the story of my Neil Armstrong signed picture that I got a few years back. And the story behind this is we had a storage locker that had numerous items that had belonged to a lady that worked at NASA. So we were fairly certain, this was the real thing. But we didn't know anything about, when I say we, it was my husband working with me at the time. We didn't know anything about this NASA stuff. We had to do a little bit of research because we had so much of it. And we came across this signed picture of Neil Armstrong, but we went to eBay to look at pricing, and it was anywhere from $9.99 up to about $2,000. And we're like, holy smokes, we better figure out what makes the $9.99 different from the 2000, which we did. Found out some interesting things about Neil, just so you know. The reason his signature goes for so much, if it's the real thing, is because he stopped autographing anything. He wouldn't even sign checks. Um, he didn't want to be a celebrity. He didn't want that stuff out there. So the value is really high because he didn't do very many. But on the same token, with the value being really high, you're going to have a lot of fakes out there. So in this case, having research and knowing the different things to be able to tell if our signature was real was the difference between getting the $25 and the 2,550 is which it actually went for, which was really cool. So types of research. So you want to know pricing. I mean, it's so important when you're pricing your items you don't want to be the highest one out there and drive customers away that way, but you also don't want to leave money on the table by pricing too low. So you got to do a little pricing research. Keywords, probably the number one most important thing in getting your item sold is those keywords. Um, and we want you to know the pricing and the keywords and know that you don't have something that's going to end up in your yard sale free pile. Just even knowing if it's something you should even be listing. So we have Worthpoint, as I mentioned, Terapeak, Google, and eBay. Those are the four places that I will be showing, but are also the places that I go to do my research. And I tell you, with Terapeak and WorthPoint, you can still do a lot of free research with both of those different venues as well. Google, I use both Google organic searching as well as Google Images. Google Images can be a gold mine of information when you're trying to look something up. And of course, eBay, you have your active listings as well as your completed listings to help you gather information. Um, and we don't have it quite as easy as, there's scouting tools out there for things for Amazon sellers, because everything is based on what's in a catalog and it has UPC codes. We have a little bit more of a unique situation with eBay and having to kind of know a place to start with even describing things and how do we find what we need to find. So a lot of that has to do with making pricing decisions. Um, a lot of stuff does get overpriced. On how many of you guys have been to a yard sale or somewhere where they say, "Oh, we saw these for, $5,000 on eBay. These are selling for $5,000 on eBay." And what they really mean is they're listed for $5,000 on eBay, but they ain't selling. So we need to kind of know what things are actually selling for or what they have sold for in the past, because a lot of things that I like to look for are rare, and you're not going to go to eBay and find results that are within the last week. You have to really dig a little bit to see kind of what somebody was willing to pay at one time. And we do not want to be the bargain basement. We do not want to be the low price seller that gets those problem buyers. And I tell you that the problems that I've had in the course of the last year have all been things priced under $20. They just kind of have a different mentality of how they want to deal with things, and a lot of them regret even spending the money, and they kind of want to find a reason to come back at us and complain and try to get some of their money back. So we don't want to be those bargain basement sellers. We want to be up in the upper echelon of the pricing, and people will pay that. So there's things to consider when you're doing your pricing. Of course, you need to know how much do you have into it. There's a big difference whether you have $10 into something and need to make sure you're making a profit, or you have $100 into it and need to make sure you're making a profit. So you have to know that right off the bat. What kind of value added services are you adding? What I mean by that is, are you doing free shipping? Are you doing best offer? Those things can make it so you can price your things a little higher. And we will talk about that in depth. Brand names can definitely raise a price up. And I appeal. And those that are members of the Danni App and my Danni Appsters, as we call them, they know this is my number one thing. Old, new, whatever it is, if it doesn't have some sort of eye appeal to the customer, you're going to have trouble selling it. There is even some fantastically good glass. You guys all know I'm a glass person. It can have the most amazing name, but if it's a boring piece, it is going to sit until you find, some collector who just doesn't to have that particular piece, as opposed to having a wider market of people who just see it and fall in love with it, and they don't even care what the name is. They just want it. And on the same token, eye appeal doesn't always mean beautiful. Eye appeal can even mean ugly or weird. Um, Anything that kind of draws an emotion out of people, call that eye appeal, because we have to sell based on pictures. So it has to picture well. It has to like kind of grab people from a picture in a split second in a search that they happen to be going down. When you think about it that way, it's not such an easy thing to do with all the thousands and thousands of items out there that are getting pulled up in results. You do need to look at what similar ones are selling for. This is the whole deal with supply and demand. Um, you know, you can have the greatest item in the world, but if everybody else is selling it for $50, you cannot expect to get 500, even though it may very well have been worth that once upon a time. And so you have to look at what the market will hold. And that can fluctuate, day to day sometimes. So depending on when you're listing your item, if you have something where there's like only one other seller that has it with a lower price, sometimes it's best to wait till they sell that and then get your item up there. How many others are available for sale? Like I said, just in the comment before, if there's only one other available, you're going to have a much easier time setting your price than if there's 100 of them available. Then you have to do some different things and give a different reason for why they should buy it from you. Now, I sell a lot of big, bulky, heavy stuff. So I call this the hassle factor. I won't sell one of those big, bulky, heavy things for under $50. It has to be worth my while to go through what I call the hassle factor in packing and shipping that and dealing with that. So I will do bigger, heavier things, but they have to be worth it. So anything that has, pieces or it's going to take a lot of time to photograph or package, you really need to make sure that you are upping the price and it'll hold that price to where it's worth your while. So let's take an item. This is something I recently had for sale. Now I know what this is, but I want you guys to kind of think, what do I know about this piece? It's glass. It's red. It's a pitcher. Okay. And if you look at the bottom, it says Avon. So let me just show you real quick. Go on over here to eBay. So I know I have a glass Avon pitcher. Aha! Right away, I can see that this is a Cape Cod pattern. Now I am going to take that information and I'm going to put in Avon Cape Cod pitcher. Whoops, I didn't save my last word there. There we go. Okay, now you'll see I have my sorting by the price plus shipping highest first. I want to know the very highest prices first that people are asking and things are selling for. So I'm going to come down the pictures and find the first ones that have just the picture. And I'm seeing their price at about, $65 plus shipping. In fact, that's a very interesting thing to note. Okay, so I don't even keep scrolling. I've seen what like the top 10 percentile is pricing for. Now I'm going to go over and look at completeds. And again, always buy the highest first. Scroll down to where there's an individual one that is sold because I don't have the glasses with it. And now I'm starting to see 38 plus 13.95, 41 plus 11. So now I have an idea what the market will hold. So that was less than 5 minutes of research, but what that tells me is that I can ask around the $50 plus, and that there was no other sellers offering free shipping. So right now I've got a little edge because I'm willing to offer free shipping on this. I know the shipping is going to cost roughly about 15 or so dollars, just based on the size and the weight and my experience with that. So I'm going to put this up at fixed price for $69.95 to $74.95. It depends how fast I want to get it out there. $74.95 would be on the top end, but the fact that nobody else has free shipping, I would probably go with that. Now I know that they're selling for about, $38 plus shipping. So I should expect to get, like I said, somewhere in that 50 plus range for it on a best offer. But I've priced it high because it's very possible somebody could come in and pay me the full asking price just because they see that free shipping. So that was just 5 minutes of research, and I've priced my item. I know what I have into it. I have $1 into this picture. So I know what I have to play with there. So when I do more extensive research, when I really have to dig deeper, is on items that are rare or hard to find. And when a quick search only yields a couple of results, if that had only brought me back like two that had sold or one that had sold, one didn't sell, then I'm going to do a little more research. Or as in the Neil Armstrong photo, knowing the difference between reproduction and original. When I need a little bit more information, or in glass, a lot of times it has to do with knowing the pattern, because patterns can make a difference in price. And is the time investment going to be worth it? That's the biggie. It absolutely has to be worth my time to invest to find out more. So again, these are the things that are going to be covered in tomorrow's webinar. And I'm going to be going through each type of research, both Worthpoint, Terapeak, regular eBay listings, of course, like I just showed you. That's probably my number one that I do almost everything with, is just looking at current eBay information, and then Google. How to make those pricing decisions even a little further. We'll go deeper into that, and all the live demoing. Now let me just show you real quick here. Let's switch back over. Yeah, it's not going to cooperate. I'll do that in just 1 second. So the other thing about tomorrow is, if you have an item, we're going to kind of play, I guess we can call it Antique Roadshow kind of sorts. You can submit an item that you have been stumped by, and we will go through the process and show you what I would do with that item. What if I have items, believe it or not, I have items that I know absolutely nothing about and can't find a darn thing. So I will show you what I use in order to make those decisions and to get it priced right and not leave money on the table. And I will show you all the different items I go to for that. You can register for tomorrow's webinar and get more information, actually, or ask me any questions you want if you're still not sure, over at the DanniApp.com. It's right on the first page. But there we go. There's the page I wanted to. Now, if you guys already have looked into Terapeak or Worthpoint, I wanted to show you a couple of offers that are out there right now, because they are time sensitive. This is Terapeak's special for, actually it ends on December 24th, so it's not even the whole month, so it's going to end the day before Christmas. And they're offering, it's $16.67 a month if it's broken out, but you do have to pay for the entire year, which is, it's $199.95. And Worthpoint, if you guys were interested in Worthpoint, it is $10.95 a month on the special discount. And this is for unlimited lookups, full access to the platform, plus you get the iPhone and the iPad application. No contract, you can cancel anytime. This is a special deal only for the month of December, and this is only for Danni App viewers. I can't say members because it's for anybody who is coming to my webinars or gets my newsletter. Um, so that code is capital D, capital A 7, little a, little d 1, little e, little d, little d. I don't know how they came up with that, but there you go. But there's so many things you can use for free, and that, like I said, is what I'm all about. I've stopped even using a listing software because I want to show people that you can make a really, really healthy living at this without paying for all the bells and whistles. So you can do eBay searches, Google searches, use Google Images, uh, Worthpoint without the pricing information. A lot of people don't know that. You can access all of the pricing or all of the Worthpoint information. You just won't see the price that it's sold for. So this is another excellent place to see that things did indeed sell and when they sold and some of the keywords that were used. And Terapeak Keywords has an application as well that is completely free to use. Going to be going through all of those in detail so you can see exactly how that works and you can save those fees per month. You guys like my little swinging cow? It's a happy cow. I figured I had to throw a cow in there somewhere. So this is tomorrow. It is $14.95. And you can learn to do all your research without paying for subscription tools. And of course, the sign up is over at the danniapp.com. Now, here's the biggie for you being here today. All of those registered for the event are eligible to win a free membership in the Danni App behind the scenes. So if that is something you've been thinking about, my membership is $19.95 a month. Now, also keep in mind with the membership, I will be doing these webinars frequently, and as a member of the Danni App, you are included for free in any webinar that I do. So that right there is a $14.95 savings. So really then membership only costs you $5 a month. And we meet every single week and do behind the scenes webinars based on questions that my members submit. We go through more of the researching and working on stores and all that kind of stuff. So everyone tomorrow has a chance to win that behind the scenes membership. So I want to thank you. Like I said, this was a sneak peek, and I wanted to answer any questions you had about tomorrow's webinar. It will be recorded, so even if you can't get there live, it's going to be recorded, but still only accessible for those that have paid. So it's never going to be just out there. And like I said, I'm available to answer any questions anyone has at danni@thedanniapp.com. And you can come on over to the Facebook group, which is a free group. There's over 1,000 wonderful people there, always willing to help and answer questions. And a lot of them kind of know my methodology by now and can actually help you there too. So the webinar tomorrow is at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's eBay time, I call it. So that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. And I'm trying to see if anybody had any more questions here. So yes, you could even submit something, and even if you can't be live at the webinar, you can come back later and watch it and get your answers, absolutely. And I'm cracking you up. Am I cracking you up? Because of my cow, huh? So let me see, was there any other questions I could answer for you guys? You can type them into the little question box there. I'm kind of looking. There are different venues you can go to check on signatures, and I'm good. That's part of WorthPoint. Actually has a separate area for that. I will show you all the little extras that are out there. If those are things that interest you, such as Ask Art, the WorthPoint Marks Library, I will show you how all those work. Any other questions, you guys? Well, if not, I want to thank you for coming and being a part of the sneak peek. And if there was anything on here you wanted to see again, I'm going to be putting this over on the website ASAP. Just takes a little bit to get the video rendered through the program, and it'll be up for your viewing. Thanks everyone for being here. Really appreciate your time.